Yo, what's going on, my fellow FNAF fans? Today, we need to talk about the most recent Five Nights at Freddy's game that has just come out, let's see, as of now 6 days ago, almost a week ago since it's come out, and, I've been playing it. It's been super fun, and, yeah, so a lot of the secrets are already being uncovered, and I really want to talk about some of the things in the game. However, today, I specifically want to focus on the ending, the true ending. So, but before I do that, I am going to just put this up right now. This video contains a lot of spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers, I will give you 10 seconds to click off of the video. Alright, let's begin! Alright, so, what happens at the end? So, in order to get this ending, first of all, you need to decommission all three animatronics, Roxy, Monty, and Chica, and then, once you do that, and you've upgraded Freddy, and gotten all the upgrades, you then are able to go to a secret room in Roxy Raceway. You go down, you descend, and you turn on the three generators, blah 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 blah, and you find that you wind up at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. Why is this important? Because this is the Five Nights at Freddy's 6th location. How do we know this for 100% sure? Well, look at this image after the ending of Five Nights at Freddy's 6, the true ending. You see a wrecked up building called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. This is absolutely mind-blowing. And not only do you have that, you go in and you see that it has the exact same exterior as the location in FNAF 6. But anyway, I'll come back to that. But hold on to that, because that is very important. But anyway, you descend into a secret room after you do that, where you meet Blob Freddy. And this thing is the tentacle monster that, we saw in the trailer of Freddy and Friends Episode 1. And this thing is massive. It is a giant conglomeration of like a ton of different things, and I'll go over that more. I'm gonna go over a lot of this. This is just a brief ending summary. So then you descend down into there, you try walking again, and you break into a floor where you press a button, unleashing Afton. You unleash Burn Trap. Yeah, that's his name. It's a stupid name, but you unleash Afton. And before I talk about this, I am gonna note that you can't actually burn him. If you press the fire that comes up, you can't burn Afton, which is insane because it sort of reveals that Afton is not able to burn somehow. He should be dead twice because he's burned twice, which is like insane. But anyway, back to what happens. You then press a button, Afton is able to escape, and Blob Freddy, it's a mediocre ending because it's a mediocre ending because this is all that happens. William Afton walks out, Blob Freddy appears and takes him and pulls him up, and then you see Glamrock Freddy and Gregory running out, and that's how it ends, which is honestly very sad and annoying that's how it ends, because there's so many more things you could have done with this. All this hype for Afton coming back, and that's kind of all you get. But it's fine. I'm sure, based on this post that is currently on Steelwool Studios, it seems that we'll be able to get some DLC or some sort of thing that is coming to Security Breach after. And I really hope that we can dig based on Afton and Blob Freddy more, because these two characters, man. Oh boy, they have their history. But that's basically what happens, and yeah, so that is what I want to talk about this. I want to talk about a couple of these things one-on-one, because oh boy, they all have major lore implications. But yeah, that's the summary of the end. Alright, so before I get into the bigger stuff with Blob Freddy and of course Afton, I want to talk about revisiting the Five Nights at Freddy's 6th location. And something that is completely apparent when we first revisit is that it's not that damaged. It's like the fire didn't do much. And this, of course, could very well be it's just burnt on the inside and didn't really do anything to the exterior, which is fair. But let me go to this, okay? So recently, about a month ago, we had some leaks for the new Five Nights at Freddy's files coming out. The Freddy files, I'm so sorry. Called the FNAF Ultimate Guide. And there was this leak. Whether this is in either the games or the books, I don't think it's confirmed. But this is what it says. The incident shown in Pizzeria Simulator and its aftermath are investigated via police evidence. It seems that Cassette Man's plan did not work exactly as intended. Why is this insane? Well, it shows that the fire just didn't work. Whether this is a parallel or in the game, it's kind of confirmed at this point that the fire didn't work as intended. The fire was supposed to burn away all the remnant. However, with this new game, or at least what we can see, the blueprints were wrong about remnant. It looked like the blueprints were trying to cover the fact that remnant does not burn in fire. Remnant continues to live on after fire, which is insane. And the reason why this is insane is because this works on so many levels, which I will get to in a minute. But if remnant doesn't work in fire, then that would mean that the animatronics didn't burn fully. Their spirits are still alive. So, if their spirits are still alive and remnant doesn't pass on, their bodies had to, right? I mean, think about it. Their exteriors are still made out of robotic parts, right? And when robotic parts get burned up, they get destroyed. But if their spirit doesn't, that means that their spirits will have to become something else, right? And it looks like they have somehow in Blob Freddy. Yes, I am telling you. Yeah, this is gonna be crazy, and I'm probably wrong about this, but my theory is that Blob Freddy is Michael Afton, Molten Freddy, and Baby all in one entity. And not only that, it is also including the 5 missing kids.
5 missing kids!
Yeah, I am telling you that all this remnant is merged into one. And if you really think about it, that's why Afton dies. I mean, look, I don't know whether the Blob is one of Afton's allies or against him, but my theory is because he wraps his tentacle around his head and pulls him up, you really think he's like, oh yeah, this is how he's going to survive? I mean, maybe that's how it is, but really what it seems to me is that the Blob is trying to kill Afton through suffocation or something, or somehow, because these are the spirits of people who hate him. Literally every single character hates him. You got the remnant of the fun times in Molten Freddy, which, I mean, think about it. The way it's possessing is because of the remnant that William extracted to create the fun times, which is from the missing kids, and the child inside Funtime Freddy's chest cavity, which once again is more remnant, adding to the fact that more remnant that hates him. And then we got the other two, Michael and Baby, which Baby literally just had an animatronic. I mean, I know I contradict this in my other Is Circus Baby Still Alive video, but if Baby, like think about this. Baby would probably hate Afton right now because he created an animatronic that literally killed her at a young age. And then you have Michael, who is technically a protagonist of the series, and he is a protagonist of the series, searching for his father because his father has done all these horrific things that has caused his life and his brother's life to get destroyed, basically. Which means that literally all the Remnant inside Blob Freddy would hate Afton, correct? And like, so it would make sense why at the end of this cutscene that Blob Freddy would be killing Afton. And yeah, like, it might be something else. He might just be taking him with him to try and escape the Pizzaplex now that he is revived. But really, what makes more sense is that he is killing him, and that would just make more sense from a story standpoint, because really, Afton is... If you go back to the books, Afton... If you go to this video, the video made by MatPat, that I'm a big fan of, I'm a big fan of this theory. I know I don't like a lot of MatPat's theories, but this one is fantastic. Yeah, I know he did get a lot of it wrong, because this was before Security Breach. But in the video, he points out that in the books, both in Epilogue 6 or 7, I think it was 6, yeah, and 11, he is described as weak. And when you are described as weak in one series, and this is the series that is trying to parallel the games, you are probably going to be called weak in the other series, and which would make sense. Literally, he dies like this, and yeah, we don't know that yet. That's why I'm still hoping that Steelwool Studios will either shine that on the next game or in the DLC of this game. But either way, Afton's either back or dead. And if the Blob Freddy is going to take over as Remnant, as both Baby and Michael, both possessing it, along with the missing kids, this could be a crazy progression, like, towards the series and the new villain of the series, which is crazy because this series is now being reincarnated in ways that, haha, I did not mean to do that. Wow. All right. This series is being reincarnated in ways that we weren't expecting. I mean, did you really expect a series about missing kids from a child murder would turn into what we have in Security Breach? I mean, there's some really weird stuff. But anyway, that is my take on Blob Freddy. Let's get to Afton. So, finally, I want to talk about the biggest thing of this ending. Obviously, the return of Afton. Now, let me take you step by step, and this is going to actually lead into another mini theory that doesn't have too much evidence, but I feel like makes the most sense, alright? So, let's go back to Five Nights at Freddy's 6. We get the incredible line of Henry.
For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, friend.
However, right after he says that, and when the events of Ultimate Custom Night happen, the interesting thing is that the cutscene you see in that game happens after you beat 49 20 mode, and probably intended after you beat 50 20 mode. That is the cutscene that you are supposed to see. So, what I find crazy about that is it's basically Cassidy taking Old Man Consequence's advice to rest your own soul. There is nothing else. No matter how much you torment William Afton, he will somehow find a way to escape or win the night. That's the interesting thing. So this cutscene that I am showing on the screen right now is basically Golden Freddy giving up, allowing William to somehow find a way back into the real world. And find a way he does as a glitch, and in the form of glitch trap. And by the end, when apparently you can escape, Tape Girl says that it can escape when it possesses the mind of Vanessa. So, at some point, probably on screen, Vanessa was able to go down into the secret room, mind controlled by Afton, and put a bunch of the power that is sucking, or like the messages that we see in Roxy Raceway, to give him life, to give him back his life that he had. Because you can experience, you see these messages in Roxy Raceway about how you know, the power of the Pizzaplex has been kind of on the decay and has been going somewhere in an underground source. So when we find that Afton's body is still here after the Five Nights at Freddy's 6 location, yeah, it would make sense. I mean, think about it. When Springtrap burned up, they were probably able to hide his body somewhere. They obviously probably weren't able to abstract it. They probably need to hide it somewhere underground. And yeah, they did. They hid it in this charging station or something. Yeah, they probably hid it in this charging station, and somehow its body was able to stay here. So when its remnant was able to give it back to life, it was able to escape. Now, I realize that the theory with Golden Freddy kind of contradicts what the FNAF universe, the FNAF community has kind of accepted at this point, but it's a different mini theory that I might go in depth another day. But it's the thing that kind of makes the most sense when it comes to the story of this game and how Afton has basically revived for like what, the 4th time in this series? 4 times. Actually, 3 times.
3 deaths of Afton.
But still, that's a lot. That's more than a child murderer should live. But anyway, that's the interesting thing. And when Afton, in the next game, or whatever, when Afton comes back, I think that this is the end of his road. I don't think that, because Afton is described weak sort of now, and is kind of generally accepted as weak in the series, it's kind of the end for Afton, I think. And I think that Baby or Michael or whatever the souls possess Blob Freddy as will continue to be the villain onward. I don't think Afton is going to be continuing to be the villain on, because really he should be dead by now. And if there is another way to kill him, they need to find another way to kill him. And who knows, maybe Henry might come back. You know, it would be awesome if Henry came back. Yeah, he technically lives by the end of the series, and yeah, at this point in the series, he's probably in his like late 80s or early 90s. He's probably very old, but if he is able to somehow give advice to Fazbear Entertainment where he can finally end this demon of a character who is now defined as Burn Trap, then that would be the most insane ending, and an ending that would be just like probably the best ending you could really think of in FNAF. Now that Scott Cawthon is gone, I think Steelwool Studios will continue making games in the Five Nights at Freddy's series, but I think Five Nights at Freddy's is finally coming to an end, and if there are new games, it's going to be probably piecing together the old lore, the stuff that we weren't able to solve the first time around. But anyway, yeah.